like a lump. I'm like, what's up, man?
Oh, that countdown feels like it takes forever. So I am with Dayna, Glammaz Closet. Thank you so much
Hi.
for joining all the way from USA. What time is it where you are now?
It is 1:01 p.m. in the afternoon.
Oh, so I'm like 6 hours ahead of you, I suppose then.
Yes.
Oh,
Most of the UK is 6 hours ahead of me. I don't know if it's all of it because it's a it's a pretty big United Kingdom, but
yeah. Oh, so Dayna, just tell us like a little bit about yourself
no.
and
Okay.
what got you into reselling.
Yeah, you got to twist my arm to get me to talk. So, I'll reluctantly talk about me. Oh, not my favorite subject. My name is Dayna. I go by Glammaz on YouTube because it started with my grandkids and it just kind of grew from there. So I have Glammaz Closet on YouTube and Glammaz Shops a lot on Poshmark, and I sell on Poshmark. I became a reseller in like 2020. Like most of us, we were, sitting around bored and unemployed in the middle of the pandemic, and so it just sort of happened out that way. And I started watching and a reseller, and the next thing you know, I'm into reselling. So, but I am a middle-aged Midwestern grandma from St. Louis, Missouri. And we're that area of the country, we're that tiny area of the country that has literally no regional accent. And we do have an American accent. I'm sure to your ears it sounds like an American accent. But as far as like American accents go, we're like the non-accent accent. It's
Yeah.
very strange. It's us and California and like two other little tiny dots on the map. It's very strange. I'm from that place. They call it the flyover zone. Pretty much just like in the middle of the Midwest. So because of that, I like to cook. I like to eat. There are certain things that we do here for fun. Eating is one.
Yeah.
It's not just for sustenance anymore.
I
Uh,
do that.
Right, and I after Lindsay and Alvin's show, weekend before last, I went on Amazon and I purchased the Heinz, and I had to go watch a video because I had to find out. I I watched like some American tries British snacks thing,
Yeah.
and I had to find out like what exactly you're purchasing when you're purchasing the beans that go on the toast. Because I could just go in my, I could just go in my kitchen and like grab a can of navy beans or whatever. But I needed like the exact thing. So it's the Heinz in the blue can.
Yeah. Yeah. Baked beans. Yeah.
Now I do have a question. Is it okay? Are the beans? I know the toast is hot because it's toast, right?
Yeah.
Or room temp, whatever your toast is. But are the beans hot, or do you not heat up the beans? I'm curious.
Yeah. You gotta heat them up. Don't eat them cold.
Okay,
Like that's like trampy. You gotta like heat them up.
trippy.
Yeah.
I would be that tramp. I'd be like, "What? No, it's so cold."
No,
Yeah.
that's like trampy. You gotta heat them up definitely. And then if you want to go like the extra mile, you could put some grated cheese on top as well.
What type of grated cheese?
Just like, well, whatever cheese you like, really. Like I like a mature like cheddar, something like that. But yeah, whatever cheese you like. But that is going like the extra mile. But I recommend you try just beans on toast first, and then whack the cheese on because it just takes it up a notch, definitely.
And I'm not like I am never mad at a snack. There are literally like two things on the planet that I don't like, and that is it. And they are neither one of them is in that. So yeah, as long as you're not feeding me pumpkin or like bologna, I'm good. So yeah, I love trying new stuff. So this is and then somebody mentioned that Marmite on toast, you have to spread it very thinly, and then it tastes like
Yeah.
beef bouillon.
Yeah, see, I really like Marmite, and it is, in fact, their slogan is even "You love it or you hate it," and that is very true. And I really like it, but I put butter on first, and then I don't like put loads of Marmite on. I just kind of, I don't spread it like really thinly, but don't put loads on either. I'd say I'm somewhere like in the middle, something like that. But if you don't want like a really Marmite taste, then just spread it like really thinly with the butter, because the butter will take it down a notch as well. If you just have Marmite on its own, you'll find it's like really strong.
So don't like grab a spoonful of it and just
No.
like peanut butter.
Some people can do that.
Can you imagine the look on my face?
But my Marmite tolerance isn't like spoon level.
Right. I'm just wondering if anybody dishes that you make with Marmite.
I suppose you can put it in things. Like, I suppose if you're making something like beefy, it would go well in that. But I don't know, like off the top of my head, like any kind of like certain dish that's like, yeah, you put Marmite in it. It's mainly like a spreadable. So for like
Okay.
sandwiches, toast, whatever. But if you're making something with beef, you could dollop a bit of Marmite in, like what you're doing.
Okay.
But
It's just I heard so many people say it tastes like beef bouillon, and like a wet beef bouillon, and so I thought, oh, if you could, maybe put it on the, I don't know, put it in a stew or something. I guess I
yeah,
don't know.
you could definitely do something like that. Like you could definitely do something like that with it. But yeah, it is more for like spreadable.
Yeah, because if I don't enjoy it on toast, now I've got this whole jar of Marmite that I have no idea what the crap. Although I got to be honest, my dogs would probably just absolutely kill for it. They would love it.
I think you'll like it though. Like I love it, so I think you'll like it.
I'm interested. I'm intrigued by the cracker thin cookies that you have, the biscuits, the digestibles
Yeah,
that are like super cracker thin and then have like a thin layer of chocolate.
yeah, yeah.
That looks so
They're
good. Oh,
good,
that looks
and
good.
I like the ones. You can get ones that have got like caramel on the inside as well.
Ooh,
I like those ones. They're
tell
nice.
me. This is like food porn. Keep going.
I can't think of like any like obviously like people always associate like British people with like fish and chips, don't they? Really, I suppose. But
Yeah, and I mean I don't know. The beans and toast thing is pretty big. Like you're kind
right.
of known for that too.
Yeah,
Um, I think after everybody watched Sherlock and they had like the one episode where Mrs. Hudson was feeding John full English breakfast, and it had like the black sausage, and it had like the beans and toast, and like the sunny side up egg, um and I don't know. Oh, and roasted tomatoes and
yeah,
sauteed mushrooms.
yeah. And bacon. There'd have been bacon on there too.
Probably bacon or sausage.
Definitely. I love a fry up. Some people hate them, but I do love a fry up.
A fry up. It's called a fry up, right? Fry up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I like hash browns with my fry up as well. Do like some
Yeah,
hash browns with that.
I like a good breakfast potato. I
Yeah,
although I'm like, okay, I'm like we have what we call gravy, and it's not actually it's our gravy, and it our gravy's not always brown. We have brown gravy. We call it brown gravy, but we have like brown gravy, and then we have white gravy, and then we have sausage gravy, which is white gravy with the. So white gravy is like a bechamel where you do
yeah,
like a roux on the bottom, and then you add stuff to it. And it's made with all milk instead of like part milk and part water or whatever.
yeah,
So it's and then we add breakfast sausage to it that's like crumbled up and like a ton of pepper. Is really good. But I love that on like potatoes, and like it's not just for what we call biscuits. It's like potatoes, and like I'll put it on the side of stuff. It's so good.
yeah.
Fries.
I'd love to try a biscuit. Like I'm guessing it's like a scone or a scone or whatever way you want to say it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm guessing it's like that kind. It looks like that kind of thing, but I've never like had one.
it is. It does have it's a little bit lighter than a scone, but it's heavier than it's heavier than bread, but lighter than a scone. So
Yeah.
it's kind of right in between, and it should have a good biscuit has like layers of flaky layers of it,
Okay.
um, where you left the cold butter in when you baked it. You can tell. Like I said, I'm Midwestern. We're food obsessed. Um, and it should split easily, and then you melt the butter on it, and I like it with I'll do usually if I make a batch of biscuits I'll eat my first one with like jam,
Yeah.
or uh, I almost said purple jelly, grape jelly. The purple one, whatever
Purple
the
one.
yeah. And then the second one I'll usually do with like biscuit with like the gravy poured over it. Yeah, sausage gravy.
That's amazing. I'm just gonna jump down into the chat if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I've been ignoring, and my apologies, chat. Hello, thank you so much.
So Dana very, very,
Oh, don't
very nicely gave me a super chat. So thank you so much. I
don't
really
advertise
appreciate
that.
that. Sophie and Dana on the same live stream. This may be too much gorgeousness for YouTube. Might even break the internet.
Thank you. How kind.
Thank you, Jeff. Hello, Lindsay. Thank you for joining. My harlot twin.
Harlot twin. I love it.
Yeah, Sean calls us harlots. So we're harlot twins.
Right to your faces. Wow.
Yeah,
That's bold. That's
Sean
bold.
doesn't care. He literally does not care. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, he might pop his head in tonight. I'm not too sure.
I've
Anyway,
got that same sense of humor. I'm not really all that sensitive. So I could be your third harlot.
yeah, we could be a
Like
harlot
harlot
trio.
trifecta. Yeah.
Yeah, we could be like harlot triplets or a harlot trio.
Oh, I love it.
Hello, Kevin from Florida. Thank you for joining.
Hey, Kev.
We've got Lin in. Hello.
Hi, Lyndon.
Also got Adam in. Hello. And Lindsay also likes cold baked beans. It's not trampy.
Oh, so if I like cold baked beans, it's not trampy.
I disagree, but
I'll try some. I'll try a bite of them out of the can and just see if I feel trampy extra.
Yeah,
trampy.
yeah. See if you feel trampy.
Yeah.
Lyndon
I
says,
feel like a whore.
Lyndon says beans on toast with fried egg on top.
That's how I saw it on TV, which, as we know, television never lies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. TV never lies. And of course, Facebook never lies either.
Oh, God. The internet is so true. There's so many truths on the internet.
And Adam, thank you so much for your chat there. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Lindsay says you should try some chocolate digestives.
I'm telling you, I saw those things. Oh, God, they look so good. That looks like one heck of a cookie.
Adam, bang it in the microwave for 20 seconds and put another digestive on the top. So you've got like your digestive on the bottom, marshmallow, melt it in the microwave, then whack another digestive on the top.
Oh, it's like it makes its own s'more. I get it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's a good idea.
I would try that. I would totally try that.
Hello, Lisa. Thanks for joining.
Lisa?
Adam, tomato should not be on fry up. See, I disagree there. I do like a tomato. But not like the canned tomatoes. Like when I'm at work, if I go for like a fry up at work and they just have like all canned tomatoes swishing around and you literally just get this ladle, go like that, and then just whop it on your plate. And then your fry ups are like swimming in tomato juice, and you're just like, oh, that's the end of that then.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to ruin your toast.
Yeah, yeah, it is. McDonald's in the USA do a steak and egg biscuit for breakfast. It's divine.
Yeah, McDonald's does a pretty good breakfast biscuit, but there's a place, you probably have it, Hardee's. It's like a Carl's Jr. / Hardee's. Hardee's has number one the very best biscuits I've ever had from a fast food place. They're better than mine, and mine are pretty darn good. I mean, 52 years, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty decent at a biscuit now, but they've got me. They kick me in the dirt. They kick my dick in the dirt. Hardee's has like a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, and their biscuits are. And I found this out. I always thought they tasted homemade, but there's no way of telling. And then one of my aunts, and that's another whole long story. My dad had 14 brothers and sisters. So
Wow.
yeah. I'm like, you couldn't find a prophylactic anywhere in Missouri or anywhere in the Midwest. So one of my aunts, actually, after she retired, she went to work part-time at a Hardee's, and she's like, yeah, Dana, we actually like get there at 2:30 in the morning, and we work until 6:30 in the morning, just making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of biscuits. And we really do make them by hand. And I
That is
was so impressed by
crazy.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is crazy. And also, my mum has got 8 brothers and sisters, and I thought that was a lot. Like 14 is like off
Right.
the scale.
Yeah. And you come from like this massive family where there are first cousins that you haven't met,
Oh, I
and
know.
it's crazy.
I'm like that. It's like I meet people all the time, and then it turns out we're like related or something, and I'm like, oh,
Right.
like yeah, I'm sure I'm just related to like half of Cheltenham. I'm sure of it.
And if it's near your parents' hometown, like you have to be careful and like actually do somebody's lineage before you even start making out with them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I'll
so you
tell you.
can't be
I'll tell you this story, right? Because I'm a nurse and I was working in the emergency department at the time, and I was in recess, and this woman came in. She'd had a anaphylactic shock, basically,
oh crap.
and as I was like, I looked at her name, and she had like her first name was the same as my nan's middle name, and they weren't that far off in age. And when she spoke, I thought, oh, you sound like my nan. And then when I sort of looked at her, I thought, you look a bit like my nan. And then I went to put a cannula in her hand, and I was like, your hands are really like my nan's. I thought, I'm going to have to say something. So I said to the family with her, I said, oh, she's really like my nan. And they just sort of went, oh, who's your nan? And I said, Nora Wilson. They went, oh, does she live at Robert Harvey House? And I said, yeah. They went, oh, that's her sister. And I was like, what the hell?
Hello, cousin.
Yeah. And I
Unexpected cousin.
and then we all kind of realised we were cousins, and it was all like a bit like emosh because we
Yes.
I was trying to put up a drip, and I was like, ha!
You're like, dang it, this guy was so hot, and it turns out he's
Yeah.
it's like it's messed up, right? Like you have to like I literally
weird.
yeah, that's my husband was from Illinois, which is where my dad's family was from, which is right across the river from us. And we literally sat down and did like I'm like, okay, who's in your family tree here? Who's in your family tree here?
Yeah.
Because it was, I'm like,
Yeah.
just in case, because he's got kind of our jacked up sense of humor.
Yeah. It was so weird. I had to get someone to come and take over with me so I could like stand outside for 5 minutes because I was like, this is really weird.
Now, when you met them, did you like make friends with them on Facebook and start getting in touch with them, or were you like, okay, nice to meet you, cousin, bye?
I think we did swap. Facebook. And then my nan died sort of like a good few years after that, and then they all came to the funeral as well, so I saw them again. But yeah, I'm sure I did swap Facebook with one of them. But yeah, it was really like the whole thing was just like so odd.
Yeah.
And it was just all the little things I picked up on as well. I was like, oh, that's like my nan. That's like my nan. Like to the point it made me feel like I've got to say something because this, like, you're so like my nan.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Like, okay, you're creeping me out now. Oh
Hello,
my
George.
George has 45 cousins and over 100 second cousins. That's me. I have 60, no lie, I have 67 first cousins.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, and most of them are my age or older.
Yeah.
So most of them have kids and grandkids. And I mean, it's just, we went forth and multiplied like a mother. It was crazy. Yeah, it's like the rabbits.
Hello, and Chris says fried bread. See, I do quite like fried bread with a fry up, but it's a bit much sometimes, and it does play with my stomach because it's like a little bit too greasy, like it's too much.
Okay, fried bread, explain. Now, I know that it's probably right in the name.
Yeah, basically.
But if you were going to fry bread right now, like, how would you do it?
You just like cover it in oil and just literally just fry it. But it's so obviously all the bread just soaks up all that oil. So when you like bite into it, it's just pure grease, basically.
That sounds magical. Tell me more.
It is nice. It is nice. But it's like because I sometimes the odd time they'll do fried bread at work, and I am playing roulette when I get fried bread at work. So I'm like, I'm either going to eat it and be all right, or like I'm going to have to keep making excuses to go to the toilet. One of the two.
You're gonna become a bread shooter.
Yeah,
I'm shooting the bread.
Yeah, it's always like, do I? Don't I?
Yeah, I get that. There are certain things that I have to be careful about. Um, Usually anything that's like really heavy dairy now, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I've never been lactose intolerant. I could probably eat a tire and be okay, but for some reason, now that after I turned 50, I was like, oh crap, because every single piece of every single dairy thing that I put in my mouth, I end up paying for if I'm not careful.
Yeah, yeah. Baked beans with Marmite, Kathy says. Hello, Kathy.
Oh, okay. You can put the Marmite in the baked beans. I kind of like.
I'm not too sure on that one. I think you'd have to put the Marmite on the toast first, and the baked beans on the top. But
Okay.
Sure. Not
You know what? I will try that because I plan on trying this stuff on camera, and I still have to go to the World Market and get some of the black sausage.
Oh yeah, the black
and Spotted Dick. Whoever came up with that name, yes, I love you. America loves you. Whoever came up with Spotted Dick.
I know, that's hilarious. In fact, I only tried Spotted Dick for the first time last week because I just didn't want to try it because it's because of the name. It's like, oh, yeah. You want Spotted Dick?
Well, like, I've never met one that I did. No, I'm joking. I'm wondering who came up with the name for that. Like what was the reasoning behind that? Does anybody in the chat know why they call it? I mean, I get the spotted. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. I'm just wondering in what universe is that is a little pudding cup a dick? Sorry, I'm foul. I apologize.
It is though. It's so true. Chop Chop says, if you have a fetish for a glass-eyed wooden leg man with a lisp, meet me at the back of the bicycle sheds at 10 p.m.
God, I don't know. That's like 4:00 my time, and that's probably coffee 30. So maybe next
time. Fried bread is so good, but only one slice. Yeah, you can't manage more than one. Like, yeah, it's too much. Eggy bread.
Is that different than like just when you're eating an egg and you sop it up with the bread?
I suppose it's like the same as kind of French toast.
Okay, it's like French toast. Okay.
Yeah, so you basically just get the 2 bits of bread, like, crack a couple of eggs, just swish them around, then dunk them in that, and then you fry them, and that's eggy bread. So
it doesn't have like the vanilla or the cinnamon or anything.
No.
Okay. So it can be a savory thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a savory thing. Chop Chop says, I start statins tonight and can only eat twigs and grass now. That's the trouble with being a fat boy. Oh, Chop Chop.
What is statins?
They help to like control your cholesterol, basically.
Oh, okay.
But,
So
I
like
don't know.
medicine like a statin
Yeah.
medicine. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I was missing something. It's like boot and boot. It was like one of those. I'm like, am I missing a new thing?
Cherry Potato says, I don't think Dick meant the same when they named it. It's always been shortening for Richard. Yeah, that's true. So
Okay,
really, it's a spotted Richard.
It's a spotted Richard.
Evening or just check. Spotted Dick and the Dick part comes from the Old English word for pudding being puddick. Ah,
Oh,
there you go.
And we learn together. I love it.
We do. So Dayna, what's like your favourite things that you like to pick up?
At the thrift stores?
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. I'm a clothing and shoes girl, accessories. If I were to walk into my local Goodwill right now, the first place that I would go would be towards the back where they bring out the new carts, because I'm a new cart freak. Like the new cart comes out and I was like, woo, yay. I'm like a little kid. And then I usually go for the shoe section first. First and foremost, I'm a shoe section girl.
Yeah.
And it's not usually the athletic shoes. It's usually like the dress shoes, but I will pick up athletic shoes too as I go.
Yeah. I'm more of like a clothes and shoes person as well. I think that would be me if I ever went to somewhere like Goodwill. I think I'd probably just like be beelining as well. That's probably the same kind of thing I'd do.
I do. And it's not that I won't sell hard goods. I do. I have some hard goods that I sell, but usually it's something small like a Christmas ornament or like a ring holder or something like that. I'm never going to sell. Never say never, but I usually don't gravitate towards like, electronics and I actually avoid vintage teas with a passion unless I stumble across something that my husband would love.
Yeah.
And I do that because because I've seen single stitch and double stitch, and they look exactly the same to me. And I don't know what is valuable and what's not, but I can tell you that there are people who will cut me to get to a vintage tee in that Goodwill, and I'm like, no, that's all you. You go ahead. Yeah.
I really like trainers. Like trainers is like my first and foremost like shoe that I'll pick up. That's not my first one. And then probably like more trainers, and then maybe a bit more. So
how's a Nike Golf Gate going, by the way? How's that whole
oh God. So like I ended up having to refund him, and I didn't refund him the shipping because I thought like when it was like full refund, I thought that meant like just the item. I didn't realize it was the shipping as well.
Mm-hmm.
So then I didn't refund him the shipping and also I don't see why I should have to refund him the shipping because it never got there. Like it never, like it's not like it came to me and I've got to return it to him, so I've got to pay the postage kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I just refunded the item that went missing but yeah, he wasn't very happy about that. And he said he would consider it in his feedback, but he hasn't actually left me any feedback, so I'm hoping it'll stay like that. But I literally bent over backwards for him to try and find where that whole polo was. The whole £6.57 he got it for, which is a total barg. And yeah. And then he just got eggy with me because I didn't refund his shipping.
Oh no, he needs to eat a very large spotted dick.
He does, yeah.
I feel like he needs to eat that, and it would make him happier. Sorry, that was a little cheeky.
Yeah, definitely. Potato. Oh, she's having spag bowl. Nice. I had like macaroni cheese with broccoli and cauliflower in it as well.
Oh, nice. I've never put vegetables in it. I just assumed that if God wanted vegetables in it, she would have put some in.
Yeah. It always just makes you like feel a bit better when you've had some veg in your life, I feel.
Yeah, yeah. I had a banana this morning and I felt like I was like, "Ooh, look at me. I'm going to go work out." And then I was like, "I'm going back to bed."
I love shoes, but being size 3, very difficult to find. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a UK 3 is like a what is that? Like a US.
Like, it's pretty small. Because I think a 5 is like either a 6 or 7 US.
So yeah, it's like a US size 4. My granddaughter wears that size shoe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very delicate, tiny princessy foot.
Yeah. See, but that is why I also still pick up shoes that are size 3, because there are some people who are a size 3.
And they need shoes too. They need loved
Yeah.
shoes. Yeah.
And I'm only like a size 4 or a 5 myself as well.
God, I have a big foot. I'm like a hobbit.
See, the nice thing though about having small feet is that I can get my shoes from like the kids section, so you pay like half the price. So
That
that's
is
like the
true.
bonus. You can get like exactly the same shoe that's on sale in like the adults bit, but half the price.
Yeah,
So
no, mine are like, and I'm like short. I'm like 5'5" tall. But for some reason I have a 9.5 foot because I got this big old honking foot. I have a good foundation, I guess. I'm hard to trip.
yeah. Lin, I'm a 4, but it's hard if you get trainers. You can get them cheaper. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
Nice.
Do you ever go to like flea markets or anything like that, or jumble trails, or that kind of stuff?
I do go to my husband and I had a flea market thing, and not a thing like, we had a store or anything. We just had like a thing where we were going to flea markets on Sundays for about a year before the pandemic started. And then, of course, that started and all the flea markets shut down. And our favorite one that's nearby didn't start back up. But I mean, since I was a little bitty kid, my mom would drag me to all these yard sales and garage sales,
Yeah,
which is like a boot sale at somebody's house.
yeah,
And so we would always go to these garage sales and yard sales, and like we all got excited when there was like a big subdivision sale where like streets and streets and streets of people were having the sales. It was
yeah,
great. So I grew up doing that, and like to this day, I get excited about a subdivision sale. So I do source from there in the summertime as long as it's not too hot.
yeah, yeah,
They just
definitely.
don't have them here in the wintertime most of the time.
What is like the temperature like with you? Is it like kind of like our weather, or is it hotter than like our kind of summers? Or
We get all 4 seasons in the Midwest, and
yeah,
everybody's leftover weather. So, like any weather that's blowing across the country, we just get everybody's leftovers. So we get in the summertime, it's beautiful and pleasant until it's not, and then when it turns not, it's not for like 2 months straight, and
yeah,
it's like it can get up to like 105 degrees. I mean, it's crazy, right? You can get like
yeah,
hot, and super super humid. So it's almost like a
yeah,
tropical heat.
yeah,
But without all of that pesky palm swaying and coconut drinks and beautiful scenery. And then in the fall we get a nice crispy fall, pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns and all that. And the in the wintertime, um, we'll get snow and sometimes an ice storm, but it doesn't get. And again, we have some days where it'll get like to five or 10 below zero, but it's not there's the one consistent thing about Midwestern weather is that it's never consistent.
yeah,
You can have like a 65-degree sunny beautiful day in the middle of January, and then in the middle of summer you can have a chilly day where it's like down in the 50s and you're wearing a sweater. So
yeah.
it's weird, very inconsistent.
That sounds like British weather as well. Very inconsistent.
Yeah. The only difference is it really does get hot enough here in the summertime to And I know typically Brits have mild summers, except for like the past few years have been suckage.
Yeah.
So, so we use a lot of air conditioners.
Yeah.
Like everybody's house has an air conditioner that is south of a certain place. Um, but uh, but there are northerners, people in the Pacific Northwest, in like Portland, Oregon, and like Seattle, Washington, who have never used an air conditioner. They don't own them, and then they get this kind of heat wave, and this has just been happening recently. They get that kind of heat wave, and they're like dying. They're like in front of the
Yeah.
fan, pouring water, and I mean it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, June was really hot here, and now it's gone really mild. But I had like one fan when I was on the sofa. I had like one fan at my foot end and one fan at the head end, and I was just led there, just like that, just watching the telly, and I was totally fine as long as I had my fans on either end. I was okay.
If you're in the heat and you don't move, if you don't move and you have the fans and you have a way to like keep your hair and behind your ears and your chest damp, it's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, because I'll get like kitchen towels and just like wet them, and then just kind of put them on me as well, and then the fan
Yeah.
makes it cooler, doesn't it? That's what I'll do. George said he's a size 12. You know what they say about big feet, George?
You're gonna need big shoes, and I have those in my closet.
Big socks. Your flea markets look so much better than the UK ones, and the garage sales look amazing. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a basis for comparison. I've never gone thrifting in the UK. Well, I've never gone anywhere in the UK. But again, my husband and I are planning on doing a lot of traveling now that we've finally gotten his passport. We're getting it replaced. I washed it. To be fair, he left it in the stupid pocket of like he has cargo pants. He left it in like a bottom pocket. And how in the hell can I feel anyway? This is an ongoing debate at my home. You can tell. Once we get his passport back up and running, next year we're going to be doing a lot of traveling, and he wants to go to Ireland, and I want to go to like kind of the UK three islands in general.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to I wanted to take like a 2.5 week trip and do like Ireland and Scotland and Great Britain.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I usually get my way. So if I can get him across the pond, we're done. We're good.
I have the body of a hippo and legs of a flamingo. Not sure what was going on in the womb.
I am quite sure you are lovely.
It certainly hasn't been as hot as we had it last year. Summer has been a bit of a washout. It has this month. It's literally not stopped raining throughout the whole of July. Like, because when I went traveling and I came back, and when I landed in London, it was like pissing it down, and I was like, oh, I'm back in England. Great. It's just been like
rain
ever since. Yeah. It's just literally been raining like ever since. Like it was so hot. In fact, it was unbearably hot when I was traveling. And
where'd you go?
Well, I went to Germany because my brother got married there. His wife's German. They got married in Germany.
Oh, how lovely! I bet they had freaking awesome beer at their reception.
Oh yeah, and I drank way too much of it, and I was like the last person standing. I went to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
She's like, "Woo, play some Skinner!"
And I was like, "I'm English. I can beat German people. Watch me." And
they turned Sophie into a woo girl, guys.
And it was like awful, and I could not stop being sick throughout the whole next day. I was like, I've killed myself. I've actually like killed myself, and it was like awful. But then we went to because my brother lives with his wife in Switzerland, so we stopped off at this place called Titisee in Germany, and that was really nice. I drove a little boat on the lake and stuff. Like that was lovely. And then we went to Switzerland and we saw Europe's largest waterfall and just had
Did they let you play in it?
No, you die.
Oh, that's crap.
You totally die if you got in it. And then I got an overnight train from Zurich to Vienna in Austria, and I had my own little bed on the train, so I could just like sleep really, which was nice. So I got into Vienna at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I stayed in like one of them, like Japanese space capsule hotels, and stayed in one of those. And there was a film festival in Vienna at the time as well, which was good timing. And then I went from Vienna to Prague, and then had a couple of nights there, and then flew back to London. So yeah, it was nice.
It sounds exotic and cool. It sounds to me, it sounds like so super exotic and cool. Mine is like, oh yeah, we went to Vegas and I gambled away the,
Well, I'd love to do that too. But I've got a series on my channel. It's called Reselling to Travel, and I've vlogged like everything. So you can see like everywhere I went and everything like on there. But I basically started in like the March, and I used all my profits from eBay, just kind of like saved them up, and then just went traveling on it. So yeah.
Lovely. That's what we do with the profits from my reselling, because my husband was like at the end of my first year of furlough in the pandemic, I went back to work for 2 days and I was just allergic as crap. And I've worked in the hospitality industry for like 32 years. And there's, black mold. Every single hotel I've ever worked in if you think your hotel doesn't have black mold, you're wrong. So every one of them has had like black mold or like things like that. And my husband's like, that's it. He's like, this is the second day that you're back and you've come home sick as a dog. He's like, that's it. Let's just, there's no reason for you to work anymore. If you really don't want to, let's go ahead and get you retired. And I was like, I'm retired. That's it.
Yeah. Don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah. So he works, and most of the reselling that I do, most of the funds from that go towards like our vacation and travel, and we live very simply. We don't have like a giant house or like a big old brand new flashy car.
Yeah.
And the latest technology, I wouldn't even know what to do with it. So yeah, we're pretty simple as far as that is concerned. And so, like traveling and like, celebrating things with our with our giant family, is pretty much that's what I spend my money on.
Yeah. I love traveling because you're just making memories like all the time, aren't you? And I love like rewatching my little reselling travel videos because I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah.
By the way, you all are probably doing this to me right now. I was telling Sophie before we went on, I'm like, that is not a cup you want to drink in front of a British audience. They kind of invented the language. And it's got to sound like I just absolutely just slaughter it every time I open my mouth. I am going to hit the stop cam, but I'm still here, guys. I'm just, I need to smoke. There we go. Okay. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Dayna. Oh, it's your picture.
I know. My sister took this picture and she's like, oh, that's a booby picture. And I'm like, well, plaster it all over everything then. I'm like, I need something. Yeah, I need something. I'm no spring chicken. Give me something.
Do you sell only on Poshmark?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Which is a weird answer. Sort of. I sell on I as far as listing platforms go at this time, technically yes. It's the only one that I am an active seller on. We have like ThreadUp and the Real, and so I do send them things that I find so that will like screen it and resell it for me, and that
Yeah.
means that they photograph it and all of that jazz, and then I get a lesser percentage.
Yeah.
And I do some online I do online auctions, but not like online auctions like Whatnot.
Yeah.
Mine are more like they're a little they're on like my channel or like another reseller's channel.
Yeah.
Um, so I've done some auctions, and I mean those are nice if you're like, let me just, you know, get rid of this crap out of my house because I've got this death pile that is massive.
Yeah.
So it helps that away, and you know, you can make a couple of $100 doing that in a night or in an afternoon, so that's not bad.
Yeah. Poshmark's only just come to the UK, and I really like it.
I love it. Is it not the easiest? It's so easy. And they don't have Vero rules. Did you know that? They don't have like restrictions.
No, no, they don't. Like, you can literally sell like anything on there.
Yeah, you can be like Velcro, 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 jump stick,
Yeah.
like in your face.
Yeah, you can. You can just do like, yeah, it's just so like open, isn't it? And I've been doing like some live shows lately as well. I did okay on my first show, but the couple of shows I only sold like a couple of things on each of them. But it's, you know, it's okay. It's helping me get rid of like older stock kind of thing. That's the only things I auction because you know it's only going to go for like the fiver anyway. So yeah, I just do like older stock really. But it's all so new in the UK. They still haven't opened it up to like the public as such yet. Like it's only um, resellers on there. That was how they started, and then they did like a referral code, so you sent out to loads of like other people.
Yeah.
Um, but it's still not open like properly. Like you can't go to the website and just sign up still. So it's kind of
So they're
annoying.
still in like a testing probably phase, just trying to figure
Yeah.
out like, you know, the date system and all of that stuff. And
Yeah.
the interesting thing I found about Poshmark, the biggest drawback for me is that because I love that they've got like predestined shipping amounts. I love that they've
Yeah.
got, you know, they're like, here's your flat rate shipping, and this is what you get, and this is what you get. And I love that they do all of that. And the 20% off the top, I don't mind so much, but I think the biggest limitation is that you can only sell on Poshmark in your own country. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like there's like Poshmark, and then I can sell in like Canada where they have it, and the UK now where they have it. I can't do that. There's you know, it's just it's for the US by the US, and I feel like there are, you know, so many overseas markets that could really benefit international
Yeah.
market.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's so big, like in the US, that now it's coming to the UK, being able to sell like worldwide. I'm sure like
Yeah.
people would be interested, be like, oh, what's in the UK market? Oh, what's in the US market? Maybe I can get something there that I wouldn't be able to get here, kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely like missing an opportunity, I think.
And I think they're doing that because of the flat rate shipping that we do within each country. But I feel like they could do what they do with like larger items more than 5 pounds. You
Yeah,
could click on international shipping, and if it's from one country to another, then you know they could just pre-charge the whatever that flat rate is, which
yeah,
could be.
yeah. What annoys me with Poshmark here is that I can only send with Royal Mail. I can't use like Every or Yodel or any other like courier.
Yeah.
Because I try my best not to send anything with Royal Mail because it's just so like unreliable. And the only thing like good thing about it, say like if I sell something, then I can generate a label and then the postman will come with a label the next day, or they're meant to. Like they don't always, and then they're meant to come with it, stick it on, and then they take it to the delivery office for you. But it doesn't always. Sometimes they don't turn up the label. Sometimes they don't come with like all of the labels. Um, so it can be a little bit of like a minefield with it, to be honest. But it's not too bad. Like I always make sure I'm off the next day. Like if I've done a live show, I make sure I'm off the next day so I can stay in for the labels and everything.
That's ours is like that too with the United States Postal Service or USPS, which is how I'm going to abbreviate it now because it's a mouthful. But yeah, we've got like the priority mail, like 2-3 day shipping, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's the same thing. It's the prepaid, although they'll send me an email and I'll just print up the shipping label. But I don't know if RM does that.
Yeah, they'll still give you an email with the shipping label on, because like if I'm at work and not there, like if I've sold something otherwise, then I just kind of print out at work. But yeah, you do still get one sent your email as well.
Lisa said, "I don't get why they showed us all of the U.S. sellers when we can't sell to them."
Yeah,
So
that is true.
they show you the U.S. sellers in the UK.
It's their posh shows they show you. So you'll always get a notification being like, so and so is starting their posh show at like $5 start. But so we can see their auctions, but we can't bid or anything like that.
I wonder if they're doing that. I mean, I maybe they're doing it so that you can see what they look like or experience it or something. But I feel like y'all have had Poshmark long enough to be able to you already have UK sellers, like Sophie, guys.
Yeah.
You already have UK sellers that have done shows. So why would they need an example from the US? Yeah.
Yeah, and when I first joined up, literally everyone that followed me was all American. So I don't think you can follow them back. So it's like, oh, you have to switch countries or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I've got like thousands and thousands of like American followers. It doesn't really mean a lot because we can't
Doesn't mean
do
jack.
anything. Yeah.
I mean, they can share your stuff, but they're just going to share it to other Americans.
Yeah, you can't buy it.
Tell you that's not helpful. You need pounds sterling. You need you need $1 with a queen on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the king now.
Don't get me started on that, dude. No, I'm joking. I honestly, I have no vested interest in the British monarchy other than I loved Princess Diana, so I'm still a little sore about that. As far as Charles goes, I know, I get it. There's a whole thing, and you can't judge people from the outside and blah blah blah. I kind of can. I do that anyway. And but we loved the Queen. I mean,
I love the Queen. She was like everyone's grandma because she'd been there like for so long. Like I'm 35 and she's always been my queen.
Yes.
Always was. Like she was just there throughout your whole life.
We had like mad respect. You have no idea how much we respected her. I mean, that was a stalwart woman. She was seriously like she was an imposing figure, and we just loved her. Even when we went, and probably all the Brit kids went through this too. All kids do when you go through your punk phase and you're like, God save the Queen. And then, but even then you're like, well, but I still want her picture on my shirt, like, she was mad, massive respect.
What's your take on Meghan and Harry?
Oh crap. That's such a here's my problem with that. Okay. Okay, first of all, I have to tell you the royal wedding. As an American watching the royal wedding, I have never laughed so hard. I thought I was going to piss my pants because we're watching, and there is like this Southern black preacher, and he's like, and I said, hallelujah. And and the British royal family is like, even Beckham had the best expression ever. He's laughing and tears are rolling down his face. He's laughing so hard because he's been here long enough to know that we would all find that we were just rocking with hilarity. Like it was so. I'm like, we just made you do realize that we just took like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of tradition and just like right in the toilet with it. I mean, it was so bad and it was so cringe and so funny. Like to this day, I still get a kick out of that. I thought it was hilarious. And honestly, most Americans are like, oh, another celebrity couple. That's
Yeah,
kind of how we see it. And we're just like,
yeah,
oh, look, celebrity couple drama, blah, blah, blah. Could be Bennifer. We don't care.
yeah,
It's Meghan Markle is here's the thing too. When you go on Oprah,
yeah,
it's a one-sided conversation that you're never ever going to hear the real other side on.
yeah, yeah.
Because and I don't know what happens behind closed doors in Buckingham Palace. For all I know, they have giant sex parties or whatever. I have no idea.
And
And
they're not going to like weigh in and turn it into like a Jerry Springer, are they? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. They're like,
well, actually, this happened.
yeah, they're way too posh to respond to that. They're like posh and yeah, and like yeah, they just they don't.
And they're not stupid either. They do know how to work the media. Like they're not going to respond.
Oh God, yeah.
They're going to give the whole, professional look and everything. Like they're not going to respond to it.
Yeah,
What I think about Harry though is he's like, oh yeah, we've left the UK because we were fed up of like the media. We're constantly getting hounded, la la la. And then they come over to like America, and then they're doing like everything they can for.
They're doing a freaking press tour. They're like next we'll be on, next we'll be reading in a library and all the local news stations, and it's not even that. It's like big stuff like Oprah and like all the big talk shows, and I'm like you freaking like you fraud.
I reckon she had no idea what royal life actually entailed.
No.
Didn't like it, wanted to get out, and then convinced him to leave as well. That's what I think happened. I think she just had absolutely no idea what she was getting into, didn't like it, and wanted to go back.
Over her head. I think that's possible. I think that's absolutely possible. She could just it just feels like she just, she's like, screw it. No, thanks. I don't want to be a princess. Bye. Or, you know what I mean? Like, and Harry's like, well, it just so happens that I don't want to be a prince either. However, please don't cut off my allowance. I mean, it's just kind of like,
it's like, oh, I want to step down, but I still want my allowance. I still want my security. I still want my title. I still want this. I still want that.
Yeah. And he has. I mean, the thing is that you can't get it twisted. It's not like the queen didn't leave him anything. It's not like his mother didn't leave him anything. That kid has a fortune all by himself. Something that is not, has nothing to do with being a royal, except for he was, his mom was a royal and his grandma was a royal. But he's got like mad money, right? He's got like crazy amounts of money that would sustain you and I and probably 20 other people for the next 50 years. He's got that kind of money and that kind of jewelry hanging out and whatever. And he's like, oh, poor me, I don't have my security. And I'm like, well, go buy some, dude. You got your own money. Yeah. He's just mad because they cut off his allowance. He's like a little kid. He's mad because they're like, no more allowance for you. And he's like, but I've only got $2 billion in my room. Can I just
And what annoys me about the whole like Oprah thing was like, me and William had a fight and he pushed me, and I was like, well, that's what brothers do. I've done that with my brothers and sisters. We've all pushed each other or punched each other. Like it happens.
I have 3 sons, and they put each other in headlocks and do noogies and like, I mean, it's ridiculous. They have like a game where if one of them passes gas, you have to touch a doorknob, otherwise you get like punched in the arm. I mean, it's that sort of thing. Like, and he's like, oh no, he pushed me, and I'm like, did he?
Yeah, he was like, oh, he pushed me, and I landed to the floor, and I was terrified, and I was like, oh, come on,
shut up. He was in the service. Nobody ever pushed him. Nobody was ever like, hey, Prince, take this. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of it feels like a dog and pony show. It's mildly entertaining at this point, and at best.
Yeah.
And, you know, at worst, we just kind of ignore it because I'm like, okay, that story's over. It was the
Yeah.
funniest wedding I've ever seen in my life. But other than that, it was, I mean, the wedding was hilarious. And the looks that people were giving each other, and it was so funny. And I'm like, oh my God, we have tackied up the entire British monarchy. This is bad, guys. This is so bad. And it's so funny at the same time.
Oh, it's funny. Right, well, we're at the hour mark now. I tend to keep these to like an hour. So we're going to start signing off now. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined. Thank you so much, everyone, for the super chats. And thank you so much, Dayna, for such a great chat.
It has been.
It's been great. And we will catch you all later. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.